Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to episode 151 of the Untapped Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We've actually got 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have Forging Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brand. So in these, we cover our anecdotal experiences with things like mindset and mentality. We then pass on tips and advice to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, we have Physical Vitality episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the physical side of our brand. So we really get to showcase our expertise here because you have 2 certified personal trainers here. In these ones, we cover everything to do with Untapped training, which is just going so well. Keep getting new clients. People are getting results. People are changing their lives. So if you need help doing that and you have goals that you want to accomplish, mental, physical goals, whatever it is, get a hold of us. We want to help you. We're able to help you, and we will get you results. We also cover everything to do with the gym, fitness, nutrition advice, supplements. Sometimes we cover mental training programs, mental toughness programs, like 75 Hard. We actually have a YouTube exclusive out right now. That was number 10, I believe.
The last one?
Yeah.
Or yes, number 10 was 75 Hard.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we cover things like 75 Hard. There are other times where we take trending articles or topics within the fitness industry and give our thoughts and opinions on those. Now, guys, these Physical Vitality episodes are full of free game. Again, it's our expertise. So make sure you pay attention. Listen back to it if you need to. Take notes if you need to. But again, pay attention to those.
By the way, guys, we'll reiterate this at the end of the episode too, but we have our next community workout, March 16th, 9 a.m. So DM us for details about that location, all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you need to bring anything, which really just athletic clothes and shoes, and that's it if you do.
This one's going to be a ruck.
It's going to be a ruck.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind, we'll DM location and all that stuff, but 9 a.m., and we'll mention that at the end of the episode. But
for sure.
On to our third format, ladies and gentlemen. That is our breaking news format. That is our current event-based format. That is when we sit down and talk about current events, current articles going on in today's world. Now, keep in mind, we're not trying to make this our whole personality here at Untapped. Now, is it a big part of our personality? Absolutely, as you could see from our last guest with Mr. State Senator David Gregory. That is obviously a big part, but we do not want to do an episode on that every week because we would lose our minds if we did that, as I'm sure all of you probably would as well. But on to our fourth format. That is our Knights Table format. That is a masculinity-based format. We touch on things like toxic masculinity, if it's real, what it is, fatherhood, the impact it's had on all 3 of our lives in here, and then just male-based topics in general, how important men are to the world and to the future of this country, actually. Keep in mind, though, I'm 26, Wurtz is 26, my brother Mitchell is 24. Because of that, we are not coming to you as some all put together from the mountain, top of the mountain man. We will never be that. The only perfect man to ever walk the earth is Jesus Christ. Now, on to our fifth format. That is our guest format. We sit down with an entrepreneur, fitness professional, athlete, doctor, somebody with a great story. Our last one, like I said, was episode 150 with Missouri State Senator David Gregory. That one's awesome. He's actually really in the news right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a second here. But we basically touch on anything that is going to bring you guys value. You guys are going to learn a lot from it. We are going to learn a lot from it. And yeah. So now on to our last thing to introduce is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
Hey, gents. What's going on?
Going on, dude?
Not much. How about you?
You got a squeaky chair over there, bro.
It's because I'm over the weight limit. We already discussed this.
We have discussed that. Yes. We
only fat producers on this podcast.
Yep. Oh, damn.
Just wait until you're Mitchell's age.
Yep.
Oh. Going backwards?
Really. Wait till you're younger.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, and not to take too much attention away from this episode, because we are now on to our next 50 episodes. But as Gable mentioned a couple times there in the intro, guys, episode 150, our last episode, was extremely special. You know, we went to Jefferson City, which is the state capital here in Missouri, and we were inside the Capitol building, actually just off of the Senate floor, which was very cool. But we went down there for a day trip, took the podcast on the road, legitimately on the road for the first time.
Second time, I guess, technically.
But this one felt more like on the road.
Definitely, yeah.
First time was with Jeff Lavecchio, episode 100, in his home gym, which was also unbelievable. But we had, as he said, David Gregory on, one of our new Missouri State Senators. He was a Missouri representative previously, But about an hour long, great conversation, educational, tons of great insight from him. Still plenty of laughs like we always have in our episodes. So if you have not gone and checked out episode 150, again, it's our very last one, so right under this on YouTube, audio platforms, whatever, go check that out. It's a great episode. Whether you agree with our politics or with his politics, or you disagree, you will still, I think, gain some very valuable insight from that.
100%.
And
Especially those of you that are confused about the state and local level.
Yeah,
how
for
it
sure.
works and whatnot.
For sure. Absolutely. And it wasn't just, hey, talk about your bills. We definitely did some of that, but it was also just, what do you actually do? You know, what's a day in the life of a state senator, you know? So definitely go check out episode 150 if you have not already. But today is episode 151, and we're actually going to talk about a topic that we kind of talked about with E, which was episode 149, funny enough. So 2 episodes ago, also a great episode. But in that episode with him, we talked for a few minutes about the whole saying of just wait until you're my age and you'll be hurting, or you won't be able to do this in the gym, or you won't be able to feel like this, or whatever. Wait until you're my age. That's kind of what we're talking about tonight, or today. But because I think we've all heard it. Everyone ever has been told that saying, wait until you're my age because blank. And basically what we want to do is completely debunk that, you know?
Yep.
With a couple main points here, but a very important one to debunk as well, because it can be kind of demoralizing to hear that. It's like, well, why am I training now if in 5 years I'm going to feel like shit?
Well, let's be honest, the reason it's such a popular topic is I'm sure there's some social engineering that comes along with it, because it's to tell people to basically go below their full potential.
And it only gets worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea, like to make you think that by the time you're 30 or 40, that you're basically in the grave already. At
Right.
that point in time.
Right.
That's
you just go coffin shopping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Basically. And that's the sad part, because our society nowadays is like very much so on the side of, we don't want to access our full potential. And because everything's so easy, you don't necessarily have to survive.
Sure.
And it's basically just, you could survive being fat until you're 65, 70, or you could survive being extremely broken down and unhealthy until you're 75, 80. Nowadays, just being carried along by our healthcare system, and that's about it.
Right.
You know, so it gives you a lot of options for that. And the problem with that is like everybody perpetuates it.
Oh yeah.
And especially, by the way, us trainers, we hear that all the time. Trainers, nutritionists, chiropractors, basically anybody in like a proactive medical field.
Yeah.
Like more like I consider it proactive because, you know, obviously when you think orthopedic, it's reactive because, you know, they're doing surgery after somebody had an issue going.
Sure.
For example. I'm thinking proactive, like somebody that's preventing injury by strength training or by adjustments /
rehab, even
all that type of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if, for example, like I don't necessarily have any injuries right now, but I'm still going to see Wyatt. And that's just to maintain and increase my health.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what we have a good amount of patients at Health Source as well, to where they come in because of the fact that they are basically like, they have some aches and pains, but they just want to stay away from those aches and pains and avoid those aches and pains. There's the people that, you know, had a car crash or something like that come in and we treat them as well, but that's a little different. So very much so on the proactive side of things, we have heard it more than most people have, because you hear people talk to you. It's like, yeah, you could throw that weight around while you're 26, but wait till you're my age at 43, or, you know, insert this age, for example, and whatnot. Because there's even people that will say it to 32-year-olds who are, and then that person's 50-something saying that to them. It's like, even though you hear from another person, it's like it's all downhill after 30, or okay, wait, or is it all downhill after 40? And all these ages just shift around because everybody's always looking for an excuse to justify their own laziness and incompetence.
They're projecting is what it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, E is 30 now.
Well,
yeah. His birthday was like 2 days after we released the episode.
Why did I think he said he was 32? Whatever.
That might be Jake.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Jake. Yeah.
Who I was going to bring up next, actually. But look at E, who's 30, and it's all downhill after 30. Really? Because I just watched 2 stories of him today, when we're recording this, of him squatting over 500 pounds. So I don't know about that. And then our buddy Jake, who we've referenced many times, And he's probably going to squirm at the fact that we're saying his name. But look at him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know most of you probably don't have any context to this person, but the past couple of years, the dude has biceps as big as a house.
Essentially, yes.
He can't find shirts that fit him now.
God, he's going to be so mad at us.
He is, but he's in great shape, and he's continued to get into better and better shape.
He's actually, since I've known him, since I probably met him when he was like 28, 29 or something
Could
like
be.
that.
Something like that,
and
yeah.
he has gotten consistently in better shape since
Absolutely.
that point in time. Yeah.
You know?
And another person, like a lot of you listeners, you might know JT.
Yep.
Exactly. He would be the next one. He's our new client with Untapped and whatnot. He is, 32, 33 now? And
something
whatnot?
like that. Yeah.
And to be real, not
Yes.
to joke about
Yes.
it. But, 32 to 33, and he's also a kidney transplant recipient who we had on as well. So, season 3, episode 18, by the way.
Boom.
But we had him on as well as a guest, but you could even see with him, this guy is in phenomenal shape, being past 30 and also being a kidney transplant and organ transplant recipient.
Yeah.
So that tells you, again, that's another example of a guy past that point. It's obviously not all downhill after 30.
Correct.
Someone tells us.
Correct.
So,
well, and he has a pretty big why too. I mean, he talked about this on the episode, but he tells us all the time too. He wants to honor the fact that he was given a second chance at life, because if that wouldn't have happened, he wouldn't be here right now, and so he's also doing his part in honoring that and like, hey, I'm going to be proactive, as you just explained, which, by the way, I think is a great explanation of the type of stuff that we do is proactive health. I love that, proactive to reactive health. Nothing wrong with reactive health. It's still needed.
it's like Drew Rappert, our other buddy we met through JT and whatnot. He owns the business Proactive Health.
Yeah.
Because it does not just chiropractic, but it's multiple things outside of that that are also proactive.
Correct.
So, yeah.
But, JT's doing his part because his why is to not only stay alive, but to honor the fact that someone gave part of their body so that he could be alive.
Yep.
Like, that's pretty awesome. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, but, also there's also the factor of this where people say to just live life, and we're not here to say to not do that because we do that, but don't let someone stray you from your goals and your wants and your desires for your health to have a cookie or have blank. It doesn't literally have to be a cookie. It could be. But if you have goals,
chips, beer, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is, but if you have a certain set of goals and you have a certain vision for yourself physically, don't just live life because someone's telling you to just live life. Again, that's a cop-out for them. That's projecting. That's them projecting on you because they can't say no to the cookie, And so don't fall into that is kind of the point. Because the moment you start falling into that, it spirals. And believe me, I've been there where it spirals. Mitch, you've been there too. You used to be fat, like...
Yeah, you asshole.
Quick call out there.
Man, what a loser. Who gets
just
fat?
A fucking chunk.
Wow.
Bro, what did Dad call you, Mitchell? We're over engagement weekend.
Jelly boy.
Yeah, our dad said Mitchell was a jelly boy when he was back then.
All right. I'll remember that.
Mitchell's keeping that one on the tally board. Bring it back up to Steve later on.
Yep. Oh, man. That's funny.
My goodness.
But still, like, it can spiral, right, Mitch? Like, it can spiral. And so stick to your guns, which it can be very hard to do,
I'm still dying at Mitchell. Sorry. I got to get that out real quick. Yeah.
I don't know.
Spiraling's absolutely right, though, because that's the thing is, like, for you, the spiraling was you talked about, like, the 6-pack of Budweiser and whatnot. How easy it was to just put that down.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Still can.
And, yeah, absolutely. But by the way, we totally could, you and I could both spiral into that if we wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could totally get together on all 3 days of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and have 3+ beers.
Right.
Easily.
I mean, dude, I work for a beer distributor.
Exactly.
Like, it makes you want to drink beer.
Every bit of you wants to drink beer when you do that. But it's just like, it more comes down to the fact that, a lot of people like to talk about the addiction factor of it. We're not talking about like the addiction to alcohol or food or anything like that. Because we're not talking about like the medical side of addiction and whatnot.
Correct.
We're more talking about you have to set up your environment properly to where you have that discipline. In your case, you started working for a beer distributor after you already had that discipline.
Yeah.
Great. So you already have yourself set up to the point where it's not a problem.
Right.
But for somebody that is around, all their friends drink copious amounts of alcohol, all their friends are fat or eat a ton of food, for
Mhm.
example, and whatnot. If you're around those people all the time, it's a lot easier to find and fall into those habits.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
I mean, dude, the last weekend, all I saw everywhere on social media, and as a matter of fact, all I heard from some people as well, was Mardi Gras stuff going on downtown St. Louis, which, it's a huge party down there. It's a crazy event. And I've never been, but some of these people, I'm like, how are you still in that?
Mhm.
Like, how are you still doing that? And maybe that's me, like, being a little pretentious. But it's like, do you really not want to move on from that scene?
Mhm.
And I get it. There's some people that either don't want to, they can't, or they feel like they can't, or whatever it might be. But it's like, you could be so much better,
Mhm.
And it's not my place to do that for them. So I don't spend a ton of mental energy on it. I just kind of think that and move on. Because I also don't get FOMO from things like that. Like I truly don't.
Mhm.
But it's just like I see those things and then it's all they talk about, for a week or something. It's like, dude, move on. Like I don't care,
Mhm.
And it's the same thing in college, I would say too. If you go to a big school, there's parties happening all the time. There's drinking happening all the time and stuff like that. It's like, are you going to fall into that or are you going to separate yourself? It's going to be hard in the moment.
Mhm.
It really will. It'll be hard, especially in a college situation because you want to be cool. You want to be a part of the group and
Yep.
things like that. And listen, like, have some fun in college. You know what I mean?
No
Like,
doubt. Yeah.
experience that type of stuff. And that's coming from someone who did not go to a big school and didn't. I mean, I kind of did when I was playing baseball. We definitely had our fun.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But like experience those things, but also if you want to, like separate yourself, because it'd be very easy to do that. And long term, you will thank yourself.
Mhm.
You absolutely will.
Well, that's the thing you're talking about in college. Separating yourself would look like instead of going out 2 days in a weekend or something like that, you start going down to one, or every other weekend you go out or something like that with
Yeah,
your friends and all
right.
that stuff,
And you start working out.
And you start working out.
2-3 days a week.
Along with all the homework and all the other
Yeah,
stuff you're
exactly.
doing too and whatnot.
Right.
You start reading self-help books, so to speak,
Yeah.
or whatever, or you start diving into a youth group in the area and whatnot, that type of
Mhm.
stuff. That's how you separate yourself in college. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't mean you
No.
still don't just go out 0 times.
You don't become
or
a
something like
monk.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like that's not what we're looking for. Like there 100% is benefits to going out, socializing, having some drinks and whatnot. Like there's no doubt to that. It's when it turns into degeneracy, that's when it becomes a problem.
Exactly.
And it's what you're talking about, the whole personality. It's somebody who, since they were 19 years old, hasn't missed Mardi Gras a single one of those years or whatnot.
No, literally,
St.
though.
Patty's Day is a single one of those years.
Yeah. And we know people like that too, by the
100%.
way.
And because they have to be there. And it's like, you don't have to be there.
Right.
It's one of those things. And again, like our profession was always going to, no matter trainer wise what we did, but it was always going to be more of a weekend thing with us. Like we had to work on editing the podcast and whatnot with David over that weekend. So it's like there's no way we could have been there anyways.
Right.
Because we set that up as it was.
Right. We're building out
Yeah.
program booklets and stuff. Little hint.
I actually meant to drop that earlier.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
yeah.
We still got plenty of work to do on that side
Yeah,
of things.
sure,
But your point remains, and not everyone's going to be like that because not everyone's trying to build their own business, and that's totally fine.
Mhm.
But your goals can still take priority in those situations,
Mhm.
and you can also still have fun and live life, whatever that means. But you got to have your priorities straight. If you're always choosing the fun and the living life, you're not going to attain those goals, physical goals, mental goals, business goals, career goals, whatever it is. Like you're just not.
Family goals.
Family
Yep.
goals, yes. You're just not going to get those things. You just won't.
Mhm.
It's a simple fact of the equation.
Yeah. And again, if you're somebody who goes out 3 times a year and one of those times is Mardi Gras, okay. Like we're
clearly not talking about
obviously
that
not
person.
talking about that
Yes,
person. Yeah.
because we would
Yeah.
probably fall into a category like that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we don't really go out.
Yeah.
Us going out is the 3 of us going to dinner after a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Like literally,
Yeah, right.
And that's great.
Or watching a UFC fight with some friends and
Yeah,
whatnot, that type of
absolutely.
stuff,
Yeah. And then every once in a while we go to a comedy show
Uh-huh.
and enjoy that type of night, which was a blast.
It was awesome. Yeah.
But we do those types of things. Sometimes we go to a Cardinals game or something like that. So anyway,
Yeah, the point of the matter is what you're saying is you're not saying not to live life. Living life is 100% a thing, but also when you have your physical fitness in order, living life becomes a lot more fun. You
yeah,
can do a lot more things, like outdoor things, like
Correct.
stuff we're planning in July and
yeah,
whatnot
right.
with Mitchell. And,
Yes.
so like stuff like that, you getting outside and like feeling confident with your shirt off and that type of stuff, and being able to go out and cliff jump and do all these crazy things, and go on hikes and trails and whatnot until you're 70 plus years old. You're going with your grandkids and whatnot, that type of stuff. That's living life.
And when you do, have a few drinks or something, you don't feel like ass the next day either.
Exactly.
So it's like, because people talk about that also, it's like as you get older, the hangovers just get worse. Like, well, you can control that to a certain extent. Number one, don't black out. It's probably number one.
You're always going to have hangovers. If
you're doing that. Right. And number two, if you are a healthier person, you can mitigate those, So.
Yeah, electrolytes, getting up and getting sunlight the next morning, that type
exactly,
of stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Being jacked.
Just being ripped.
Yeah.
Juicy. Barry Bonds level jacked. Yeah. Mark McGuire level jacked. They were definitely clean. They were natural.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go on steroids if I could hit 60 bombs a year too.
70.
70. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah,
excuse me,
pal.
Yeah. That's insane. That's definitely insane.
Yeah.
But
I'd hit 100 if I was still playing baseball. I mean, the state
made
of
Mitchell choke over there.
The state of big league pitching is just not good right now. They don't throw hard. Their pitches barely move. Paul Skeens is ass. I kid.
That's crazy. You're gonna one of these times we're gonna be hanging out with one of them. They're just gonna get up on the mound and cook your ass. Not three strikeouts, not just swinging on each one of them.
For sure. Yeah. I don't even know if I would get a swing off. Like, I think I would just be terrified.
You know me, I'd be leaking down my drawers, bro. It'd be bad if I ever saw a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. I saw like an 85-mile-per-hour one from you, and I about pissed myself.
Yeah, it may not have even been that hard, if we're being honest. But
probably not.
Dude, yeah, anyway.
Yeah, anyways, to get back on track. The thing is, I think a lot of times when people see podcasts like what we're doing right now, or calling out people for, not having their habits in order or that type of stuff, I think a lot of times people take it as this hater mentality or whatnot, or promoting negativity in the fitness industry and whatnot, and everything needs to be positive and rainbows and flowers and whatnot. Sometimes you need to hear the truth.
Yeah.
Especially for you men, you need to hear the truth straight to your face about you're out of shape. Get in shape.
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to this podcast, you have resources right here in front of you.
Good ones too, by the way.
And also, if you're not really taking care of any type of work or your career, you're just kind of coasting along and whatnot, take care of that too.
Yeah.
You know the steps you need to take. If you're already in that career, you already know what gets the best people in that career to the top.
Right.
Chase those things.
Right.
That's what we're doing on the trainer side of things, because we model people like Jeff Lavecchio, for example, who provide a great example of what trainers should be doing.
Yeah. Especially on the coaching side of things. And then as much as we talk about him, we look to Andy Frisella for the more like business type things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because he clearly knows what he's doing. And another point when you're like, what people might think we're doing is people might think that we think so highly of ourselves and we're so much better and all these things. Like, listen, number one, hell no. But number two, as far as like our fitness goes and physicality goes, like we have ebbs and flows as well. Like right now, I'm not in a shape that I like to be in at all. Agreed. And I know
Same here.
I also can call myself out for that. I called myself out to you just 2 days ago. We were texting back and forth about some things. So it's like there are ebbs and flows to a fitness journey, and that is okay. That is normal. But what you need to be able to do is have the wherewithal to call yourself out when you realize you're going down a path that you don't want to. Because I know for me, like we were just talking about a few minutes ago with the spiraling thing, like I know for me, it could spiral like that very quickly. Mitch, you're probably the exact same way. If we're not careful before you realize, it's like, oh no, like, where am I going?
Yeah, the Cheetos are making a real
or whatever it is.
Right.
And or even drinking for that matter, And again, like I work for a beer distributor, it makes you want to drink beer. At a certain point, it's like, I got to stop doing that, And so you're going to have the ebbs and flows. You have to be able to call yourself out so that you get yourself back on track and going in a direction you like and enjoy. You said the confidence with the shirt off. Summer's coming. The pool time is coming. Those types of things, like, you want to feel good during the summertime. You should want to feel good all year round.
All year round.
But
right.
Like the summertime is a very good motivator. It is. You're going to the pool, there's less clothes on because you're wearing short sleeves and shorts and things like that. You're wearing tank tops. Like you want to feel good in those things. And if you are 100, 150, 200 pounds overweight, you cannot tell me that you like wearing that stuff. You just can't, because I used to be that guy. Not that I was 100 pounds overweight, but I used to be that guy where it's like, if I told you I felt good in this stuff, I would 100% be lying, and I know that. So that's how I know that you're lying.
Yep. Yeah.
You know?
And that's the habit side of things. Let's talk a little bit about the research behind why it's not wait until you're my age. And that's not a realistic thing.
Correct.
So there was actually recently a study done in the last couple of years where it actually went over and followed a group of 70-year-olds and then a group of 80-year-olds around and basically compared the strength training with the group. So they did like 12 to 18 weeks of strength training with this group and whatnot. And they tracked their results. And the results, they gained a very good amount of muscle, and they also gained a very similar amount of muscle at 70 and 80 years old, respectively.
Interesting.
So that's at 70s and 80s years old, which also means they have less falls at that age.
Sure.
Because that's what adds up. When you have more muscle, you have less falls. You have less chance of aging in a very decrepit way, so to speak.
You have more functionality long term.
Exactly. And not to be crude with saying decrepit, but like the point remains is like that's what you think frail, you think broken down. Strength training helps mitigate that.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you're going to get to a certain age, not where that comes in, and then, death is a part of life. There's no doubt about that, obviously. But your health span and your quality of life can be much higher with something like strength training or exercise in general, because it was actually shown too recently where it showed that runners have healthier knee joints and healthier knee joints, healthier tendons and ligaments as well than compared to somebody who doesn't run. So that was another thing that was found.
Which makes sense.
It makes sense because it's continuous impact. It's similar to a plyometric is what running is in a lot of ways. And the thing is with that, it makes a lot of sense for one. But two, a lot of people talk about running as if it breaks your body down. No.
It feels like it does.
It definitely feels like it does, for sure. But it'll only do that if you allow it to, by the way, too.
Yeah.
If you are not somebody who also strength trains along with running, that's not a good combination.
Yeah.
Because if you're just this like 130-pound soaking wet, basically just twig,
right,
that's not going to be good long-term for your bone density or anything like that,
Yeah.
of course,
Right.
obviously.
right.
That means you also have to be eating a proper amount of protein.
Yeah.
You're consuming, hypothetically, if you're that active of a person, your body weight in grams or higher in
Correct.
protein
Correct.
for most people. And that goes for male and female. But the point remains is that the wait until you're my age thing is not a real factor, because we know a lot of people who are also 40 and 50 who are very healthy, and they're more healthy than people we know that are 23, and they move better and have less pain than people that are 23.
Right.
That's wild.
Right.
So it stands to reason that if you look at research, if you follow all the things that you see when it comes to anything, PubMed articles, any type of popular research articles coming out right now, it stands to reason that strength training and exercise equal longer quality of life, which is awesome, by the way, because that means more time with your grandkids. That means more time with your kids, all these type of things where you get to go, you're a 55-year-old dad, you're still getting to pump iron with your son and whatnot, or
exactly.
your daughter, or what, you guys are able to go on walks together. You're able to throw her around and have fun with her and stuff like whatever,
Right.
all that type of stuff. It's included. It's like, it allows you to have that higher quality of life. And it's only because you gave up those habits. You stopped training, you stopped playing sports, you stopped eating properly once you got to 30, for example, or 40,
Stop
and whatnot.
basically taking care of you.
You stop doing everything that takes care of you, 100%. You stopped all those habits, you stopped, and your body stopped with it. And that's how it goes. If you give up those habits, you give up those positive traits, you will go in a negative direction.
Right.
You will be like, wait till you're my age at that point in time.
Yeah.
No, you haven't taken care of your health for 15 years. That's why you're saying wait till you're my age right now. Sorry.
Well, and we're not saying you got to do anything extreme either. We're
No,
not
I'm
saying
saying you have to be Goggins. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to be Goggins. We're not saying you got to, sign up for a bodybuilding show, although like you could. That's a good motivator. We're not saying you have to sign up for a marathon. Again, you could. It's a good motivator. It's a good, thing to train for. It gives you a goal. That's what events are really good for, is it gives you something, it gives you a reason, because you don't want to go out there on the bodybuilding stage and look like an idiot. You don't want to be that guy or that girl who all these other people are just diced.
Yep.
And you're the chubbo on stage. Can you imagine a chubbo at a body? The meme of that's actually like a funny idea. But like, don't be that guy.
You're 330 with like 35% body fat on a bodybuilding stage.
Doing the poses too. Man, look at his lat spread.
That would be comedy.
Wait, is that his lat or his rolls? I can't tell.
That'd be like DJ doing a bodybuilding show, bro.
Bro, DJ is gonna hunt you down.
Yeah,
now.
100% he is. 100%. There's no garage podcast with Andy anytime soon because of that comment right there. Oh man.
But the point is what you're saying is even doing the bare minimum of fitness wise as you get older will allow you that much more time and ability to do the things that you want to do. You know? And you mentioned it, like at a certain point life does happen, but why not try to prolong that, you know, or push that longer as much as you can control, because it is in your control. Even if you have hereditary things, stuff in your family, you can still do things now, maybe not to completely prevent it, but you can at least prolong the effects of it.
We know a couple people with type 1 diabetes that it mitigates their symptoms because of the fact that they exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dementia, it's another one.
Dementia's another one. Yep.
That runs.
Alzheimer's is another one.
Exactly. That one runs rampant in my family.
There's actually even research that's showing that exercise helps stave off certain cancers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. Yeah.
Just like ivermectin.
This is a physical vitality episode. Damn.
Sorry, just had to throw that in.
What if you would have dropped that with David just randomly? What do you think about ivermectin?
I would love to know.
I would be curious.
We'd be able to tell what kind of politician he is real fast.
Sure.
Just saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not the point here. But also in that kind of realm, like proper supplementation can also help with these things. As much as we have talked about it and sometimes we joke about it, like creatine is so beneficial for so many of these things. Even more so as you get older too. You know? And so the bottom line here, guys, is it is so important to continue moving your body. That's all we're saying. Even walking. Get you a 10-pound vest. You know, walk the dog. Get a dog, because then you have to walk it. You know?
And you have to take care of it too.
You have to take care of it.
Along with
exactly.
like basically exercise as it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know, join a gym or get something online or just move. Just freaking move. Take up pickleball. You know, it can be as simple as that, and then you're also enjoying it. You're getting a little competition, which is always good for the brain, male or female, but especially men. Like, absolutely, we've talked about that, the importance of having competition as a man. Whether you're currently playing a competitive sport or not, you should have something like that. You know, and yeah, your job can be that, business can be that, there's no doubt. It's extremely competitive, but having that sport is so good. It's so good for you. And not to mention it's fun. You know?
So fun.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a way to meet new people. It's a way to have an even better bond with your current friends or your current group or whatever. Like, it's so good to have
which
that
which also increases endorphins, which
exactly
like dopamine, which also means focus, which means more highlighted lifestyle factors get increased, etc. That type of stuff.
Right.
You know, and I think a lot of times the ending statement that I wanted to at least end off on is the idea of nowadays living life means an unhealthy and unhappy life. And that's you living life because you go and watch the game with the boys on the weekend and you have some beers and whatnot, and that's you living life.
Right.
But everything else sucks. You hate your job. You don't like your family. You really don't connect with your wife at all or anything like that. You don't connect with your friends, etc. actually, other than over beers and pizza, and that's it. That's unhealthy and unhappy.
Right.
That's what we call living life in our current society in America. What we're advocating for is living life being healthy and happy past that 30-year, past that 40-year mark, because of the fact that you are healthy and happy.
Exactly.
Because you have great relationships, because you are physically fit, because you have a great job you love, you have a wife you love and adore, you have kids that are great when the time comes, and all that stuff all comes into play. It's like, that's the living life we're talking about. We're not talking about the unhealthy living life shit.
Right. And it's also not selfish to choose you and take care of you. As a matter of fact, it's the most important thing you can do, because all those other factors that you just mentioned, if you take care of yourself first, all those other things get taken care of in a better way. You know? So it's a trickle-down effect, and it starts with you. That's the biggest thing.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, guys, at the end of all of our non-guest episodes, the wonderful, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Money Mitch,
Jeez.
will ask us a Q&A question that's submitted by you guys, the viewers or the listeners. Now, there's a few different ways we would like you to submit these questions to us. First, and our probably number one choice, is you can DM them to us on Instagram at untapped.llp. Now, we are Untapped LLP on everything. TikTok, X, YouTube, everything. It's all the same, but Instagram has the dot. So anyway, untapped.llp. You can DM them to us. You can also DM them to us individually or text them to us if you have our number. You can email them to us. Our email is still our former name, so it's extricationfitness@gmail.com. Now, we know that it is a mouthful. That is why we changed the name to Untapped, because Untapped is just so much better. So, extricationfitness@gmail.com. There's an email button in our Instagram bio and our Facebook bio, by the way. So that makes it extremely easy. You can copy and paste it. You can just click the link there and it'll open up your email. Very easy. I don't know what Mitch is doing over there over my right shoulder here. You can also leave your questions in the comments of our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter posts. We usually post about 2 to 5 clips from our podcast episodes on those platforms. We are also on YouTube. You can leave them in the comments on our YouTube videos. All of these podcasts are on YouTube, so you can see all of our wonderful faces. That's actually another key with episode 150 with David. The setting for that episode was awesome. So definitely go and check that out, guys. You can leave them in the comments on there, but we have the podcast on there. We have vlogs on there. We have YouTube exclusive videos on there. So we have a lot to offer through YouTube. So if you have not already, go like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. We also have a secondary YouTube channel, Untapped Podcast Clips. So subscribe to both of those. It's free. It is no effort
Are you
for
sure?
you. I'm very sure. Yeah. It's very little effort. It's, maybe like 4 clicks.
If that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. We're asking a ton out of you guys. So with all that being said, those are the ways we would like you guys to submit these questions. Now, these questions can be about anything. They can be about a topic we have talked about, be about a topic that you want us to talk about. They can be funny. It can be supplement related. It can be life related. We'll give our best advice. Literally anything. So submit those questions to us. All of them get sent to Money Mitch, and he then picks one out that pertains to the episode that we did, right now, or pertains to a former episode, or again, it's just a random question that you guys might have. I'll take a deep breath.
Ooh, finally.
That was a lot.
Thank
I know.
God. That's over.
Everyone's thinking, man, Wurtz, shut up, dude. We get it. All that being said, Money Mitch.
I was thinking that. Man.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Holy
I'm
mother,
sure you
that
were.
took
This
forever.
asshole
Hey,
up.
you
Man, I was falling
couldn't say
asleep
all
over
that.
here.
You couldn't say all that.
I don't need to.
I know, but you couldn't.
That technically isn't his job.
Correct. We don't pay him for that.
Yeah.
But
We pay him in training sessions.
he also just doesn't have the brain capacity to say all that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No clue how to lead a
That
team at all.
that many words
Yes.
in one
Yes.
go is just
Yes.
not in your abilities. Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, what's an activity that makes you feel young?
Are we not still young? Damn it. We keep making comments about how we're old.
Yeah, it's true. We are kind of falling into that category. Like,
Man, just wait until you're
just
our
wait
age,
until you're
guys.
26.
So corny.
He's so
True.
gay.
It just
God.
sucks. Gay. Mitch. Okay.
That makes you feel young.
Feel young.
I mean, yeah, I guess even right now. And you're comparing it for our age, obviously, to like when we were 18 or something.
Hide and seek.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're it's not like we're 30. We don't know that answer yet.
Right,
we're
right, sure,
we're
sure,
26,
of
you
course.
buffoons. I mean,
You
holy.
buffoons. Interesting.
This just became a roast session here.
Yep.
And welcome to the Comedy Central Roast of
Yep.
the Untapped Podcast Boys.
What is an activity that makes us as young 20-year-old men feel young again?
Mm.
Young, full of life, hopeful for the future. No, I'll stop right there.
Yeah, I was going to get really corny really quick.
That's the point.
Super gay really quick.
That was the point.
I mean, playing our sports.
That's what I was going to
I
say.
think is
that was going to
one.
be my first option.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, you guys with hockey, me now it's softball and things like that. But like all of us, we love those things. Getting back on the ice with you guys, and then getting back on the field. I can see it when I come watch you guys. I know you guys have seen it when you come watch me. Like, it feels good. It feels great to be out there and in that setting. It brings back good memories. It also keeps up the things we just mentioned a few minutes ago about why it's so important to continue to play a sport in some fashion. So I think that would definitely be one for sure. Activities that make me feel young. I'm not sure because we are young.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's accurate. 100%.
Yeah.
In general, I think doing stuff like hiking is a good example of it for me in a lot of ways, just because hiking and or outside activity sports. Like, for example, like snowboarding would be one of those for me.
That's
Makes
a good
me
one.
feel young. Obviously after my hips feel like somebody shot them,
Yeah.
but that's also because I don't do it much anymore.
Sure.
So I don't really have the adaptation to it. But snowboarding and hiking and actually exploring is a really fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
Which can be really hard to do because I feel like we've explored a lot of St. Louis County where we're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
thankfully it just doesn't get boring.
no, it doesn't.
either.
It does not get boring by any means. I'm trying to think. I mean, in a lot of ways too, I think doing this podcast helps with it too.
Oh yeah.
Because we do tend to like still be ourselves and our young selves.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not like any of us in here have already become grumpy old men or something like that.
No.
You know what I mean? And I never plan to, for that matter.
Correct.
And our next guest will explain why we'll never feel that way partially too.
True.
But anyways, the point remains is that this podcast, I think, does that a lot for us as well. Definitely for me, where I feel like I can, one, drop really good knowledge on here, but also still have a lot of fun at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's like productivity and then having fun combined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Dude, I mean, that's why we love what we're doing and what we're building. And that's also why we wanted to do those things.
Right.
Not only the impact piece and make a living for ourselves and those types of things, like, because obviously those are probably the number one priorities, be able to provide for ourselves and things like that. And then obviously we do that by making an impact, a positive impact on as many people as we possibly can through the podcast, social media, training, things like that. So I think that's an excellent point by you. I would also say, like, sometimes something as simple as throwing a football around.
Oh yeah.
Throwing a Frisbee around. Again, that's kind of related to the sport thing, but it doesn't have to be competitive. Like, just literally throwing a football around. Like, that's a blast. I
So
love
much
that.
fun. Yeah.
I think also, there's times where we get together with our group of buddies. Same guys we went to the comedy show, and obviously there's a couple missing pieces there, but sometimes we get together and we play Risk. Like, we play board games. And, like, it's fun, and we have more grown-up type conversations with those things, or sitting around a bonfire, like things like that even. It's the camaraderie and things like that, and it's having fun. As much as we just talked about, like, don't fall into live your life category, which we explained what part of that we're saying to not fall into, but living life, having your buddies and doing those types of things and going hiking and exploring, like, you go on a hike with no destination in mind. You're just out there and you're trying to see what you see, and go where you go type thing. That stuff absolutely will keep you young. It also keeps your mind going, which in turn literally helps you stay young.
100%.
And on the, we briefly mentioned, like, the dementia piece. The reason dementia and Alzheimer's accelerate so fast is because people stop doing things. They sit at home and watch TV every day and watch movies every day. Well, you're not actively using your brain and or your body. So you're going to decline very rapidly. I saw it with both my grandpas. Like, I saw it firsthand. I was a little bit younger, but I still remember that. I also saw the toll it took on my parents, and so I know that my dad doesn't want that to happen to him. I don't want it to happen to me, and so on and so forth. So that's why he's taking his health seriously now, which is awesome. You've seen it. He's got some ridiculously high number of straight weeks of him completing his program each week. It's awesome. And that's why you and I are doing the things, or all three of us are doing the things that we do. It's to continuously try to feel young, even as you get older.
Yep.
And how you do that is pretty simple.
I think another one would be playing with, like, Holly's nieces and nephews.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
an example.
Sure.
Because obviously I see them more now because they're all here.
Yeah.
And it goes the same way when my family on both my dad and my mom's side get together and whatnot. That's also fun. But
Yeah.
playing with younger kids is a blast
Oh yeah.
because it's the way they look at life is hilarious.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in this like abstract way where,
Right.
things
It's
are very
innocent.
like very innocent and generalized concepts and whatnot.
Right.
And it's a blast because like the easiest things can make them laugh.
Yeah.
Like that one dance where I have my hands on my knees and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
playing.
yeah.
I did that with one of Holly's nephews, and he found it hilarious. and I'm like, I think it's hilarious, and I'm
Yeah,
glad
right.
he does too.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? So that definitely is a blast to do things like that. But you're right. I mean, that's why chess players also have their mind last so long
Oh,
too. A lot
sure.
of times, if you look into chess and how sharp those guys are long term, it's
Yeah.
because they keep playing because
Right.
of how difficult and strenuous of an activity it is to do.
Yeah.
That, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
And that's like golf too. You know how
yeah.
intricate of a game that is.
Yeah.
That's why you can be 85 years old and still golf.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's another great example of that.
Yep, a lot to think about, a lot of hip rotation, a lot of
Right.
just general
You're
T-spine
outside.
rotation in general. You're outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. You're
Yeah.
competing. Yeah.
You know, I mean, granted, this was a few years ago, but like even during the pandemic, like I would still like hang out
You
with.
sound like DC Israel there.
Yeah. God, don't ever compare me to that
DC
guy.
Gamo,
Yeah,
as
right.
Ian called him.
Yeah. But like I would hang out with all the neighbor kids, and we would,
Yes.
I was joking, but like we would play stuff like hide and seek, and we would make up games with like kickball balls and stuff like that, and like that stuff was fun.
Mhm.
Again, I was like 20, so I was young, but like that type of stuff. Whenever you do it, obviously we're not playing hide and seek every week,
I am.
but by yourself.
Yep. No, it's Moke and I.
Mitch, what
It's the cat and
what
I.
happens in this place when you and I aren't around?
It's like that. Is that from the Avengers movie when he tells him you and Banner are playing hide the
Hide the
zucchini?
zucchini.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. When you and Ben are done playing hide the zucchini, maybe it was an Age of Ultron.
I
It
don't
could have been
remember.
that.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
I can just imagine him going around like a Moke.
Mhm.
Where are you?
You don't need to look far.
Where are you?
No, he's pretty easy to find. Doesn't move much anymore. Yeah.
Anyway,
Poor guy.
plenty of examples there to stay young.
What do you think, Mitch?
Hobbies that you enjoy. So a mental hobby, a physical hobby, and then an emotional hobby. So something that works on your brain, something that works on your body, and then something that works on kind of your emotional intelligence. So it could be, for me, my outdoor hobby is mountain biking. I love to mountain bike.
So
That's
much
a,
fun,
That's
even on
a
acid.
it's a great hobby. Now, of course, with most hobbies, the more you get into it, the more expensive it's going to get. It's just like golf. Golf can get real expensive, but
Well, when you're as good as I am, people pay you to golf. Actually.
well, I lose brain cells when I golf, so I'd say a physical hobby like
I
that.
lose years off my life. It's like smoking cigarettes when I golf.
Oh man, it's
Yeah.
painful. Anywho, that's the thing is it's fun. Like mountain biking is legitimately fun. So you're not sitting here thinking this sucks, or anything like that. Or say, mentally you're doing something that excites your brain, whether you're reading a good book or you're practicing something or anything like that, along those lines. So I would say those would be my recommendations: physical, mental, and then an emotional.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And just for you viewers, phone just died or camera just died on Mitch. That's why you're looking at us
Yep.
while he's talking there. No, I think those three things are great. And
Find something that's physically, because most of the time the physical part sucks because it's
Sure.
physical.
sure,
Find it to be fun, and then you're going to be more encouraged
Yeah.
to do it
yeah,
more consistently. So
absolutely. If you're a gym rat, every once in a while go to a different gym.
Mhm.
Go buy a day pass at a cool new gym. Drive a little bit and go to a new place. If you like to if you like to run or ruck or walk, like go find a new park or a new path or woods. Like literally just go walk in the woods.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Things like that.
That's why I do landmine and kettlebell training a lot too.
Sure.
Because it's very, you have to use your cognition a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
During those type of movements.
Absolutely.
There's a lot more to think about, especially if you put together an intricate system of landmine work or an intricate flow, so to speak, as it's
Yeah.
called in a lot of the kettlebell world.
Yeah.
with a kettlebell, that takes a lot of thought process. You have to you have to land on your toes in the proper location. You have to set your body and rotate your T-spine in the correct location and the proper manner to load up that movement, etc. So to me, that's why I'll have like one of those movements usually in at least every workout.
Yeah.
Because it's just different.
Yeah.
You know, it's outside the box and it makes me enjoy the workout.
Absolutely.
So,
no, that's a great point. And that's a huge, huge plus of athletic tech training, you know, and nothing wrong with other sets of training, of course, obviously. But no, I think that's a great point, mixing that kind of niche type stuff in, because you go to most gyms and the landmine is just collecting dust.
Oh yeah.
And the kettlebells are just collecting dust.
Big time.
You know, and you know, those things have feelings too. You know, they need to be used.
You start doing therapy with a kettlebell. Sorry, little buddy, you don't get used. Not everybody wants to be an athlete. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. All right, guys, that is episode 151. We know you learned something, so do us a quick favor and share the show. I don't know what. I mean, these guys are on one. I thought I was on one today.
Bro, we haven't been back in the studio in a while here.
I know.
We had to be all serious at the state capitol.
Ooh, fancy, God. Yeah, whatever.
State senator.
Yeah, we could run that capitol.
Funny enough, it would probably be more efficient if it was just us two.
Yeah.
So, because we would just
a two-person government.
They put a bill on our desk. We're like, no.
Yeah, not that one.
Nope.
Yeah.
That one's fruity. Sorry.
Yeah.
Scratch that one.
Gosh. My point, you learned something, so share the damn show. All right?
Yes.
It's free. It's easy. Again, it's like 3 clicks. It's literally 0 effort for you. 0. It's 0 effort, and it's $0. So do it. I'm tired of telling you. Okay?
Why do you always sound mad at our audience when you tell them to share?
Because we have a lot of viewers and listeners that don't. And I want you guys to share the show. It helps us a ton. It really does. You might think it doesn't, but it does, okay? You always see us sharing each other's posts, sharing other people's posts. We do that because it helps them. And if we're putting it on our stories or we're posting about it, it's because it's something we believe in. So if you guys believe in the podcast, like a lot of you do, a lot of you have been here from the beginning, and we love that, and we are so thankful. I'm not actually mad right now, okay? But it really does help us. And so please share the show. Put it on your Instagram stories, put it on your Facebook stories, tweet about it, text it around, put a screenshot or a picture of your screen if you're a YouTube watcher. Those things, they help us tremendously. And if you are interested in training, reach out to us. We have a wide range of expertise. We are willing to work with you. It will be a program built for you. It's not just a copy and paste, okay? Now, we do have some programs coming out where you can just follow a program. It's not training, nothing like that. That'll be coming in the near future. We are working on that, and it's actually something we're very excited about. Very comprehensive, too, for something that's not actually training. And it looks really good, something that we're both very, very proud of. And again, we're still working on that. So that's coming. More details on what I'm referring to will also be coming. And again, to mention, March 16th, that's a Sunday, 9 a.m., we don't have a location picked out yet, but this will be our next community workout, and it will be a ruck. So a little bit lower of a barrier to entry.
Absolutely.
You know, we're not doing some kind of crazy workout, which, you know, most of our community workouts are not going to be something insane because we want you guys to enjoy it and have fun. Now, you're going to be pushed, and you're going to do some things that you're probably not used to doing, but you will enjoy it. And all we've heard from these community workouts is positive feedback. I mean, seriously. So more of those to come. This one will be a ruck. We will pick out a location, and we will be posting about that more in the next couple weeks as that approaches. This one, because it's a ruck, we have no cap on capacity either.
Yep, right.
So let's get 1,000 people.
Damn.
That's our goal. 1,000 people.
We better find a huge park.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
We'll just take over the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like a militia.
Or go to Arrowhead like Lexi J does.
Yeah.
That was sick.
That'd be sweet.
But anyways,
Yeah.
Also, I want to mention too, those of you on the ruck, if you don't have weight, just come walk.
Yeah, we'll find a rock that you can hold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can carry it like in when Cameron Haynes does
Yeah.
at that one mountain near him.
Bring a couple milk jugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the point remains, like 100%. You can show up. If you don't have a rucksack or a weight vest or whatever, you don't have to have one of those
No, definitely
to join in on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Nope, absolutely. Guys, until next time, Peace and love.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.